Hello, my name is Tony Tomaro, and I have the honor and pleasure at this moment to interview not only a good friend, but a colleague and one of the founders of Dentists in the Know, Dr. Chad Duplantis.
Well, thank you, Tony. I appreciate you taking the time to interview me today.
So, Chad, we've known each other for a number of years, and what do you strive for in dentistry? What makes your clock tick in dentistry, would you say?
Wow, that's a deep question, but I would say that I strive, and I know we both do, we strive for excellence. We strive for the betterment of our patients. We strive for the betterment of ourselves through education. And, you know, I think in the beginning, going deeper on this, but in the beginning I strived to be a real people pleaser. And what I realized is that during that, you're not going to please everybody. No matter who you are, you're not going to please everybody. But all I can do is always give everything my best, and that's what I'm going to always do.
And that's what we do as professionals.
Yeah.
We want to give our best. So, as one of the founders of Dentists in the Know, what is Dentists in the Know exactly? What is it that you guys strive for, and what do you do as Dentists in the Know?
Well, if we knew that, we probably wouldn't call it Dentist in the Know. No, I'm teasing. Dentist in the Know is really, it's geared towards our entire profession. Although it's called Dentist in the Know, that just happens to be because our three principal partners are all dentists. First off, we don't know everything, but we try to know as much as we can. But we strive for a very well-informed dental professional, whether it be a dentist, whether it be an assistant, a hygienist, an office manager, a team member of some sort, or a dental manufacturer. So our group is really open to the entire dental profession, but we want to better inform and progress our profession in the right direction. And that's what our goal is.
So, and congratulations, by the way, you just got an award from the Dental Woo, your editor's choice. And so, as a podcast, what makes your podcast different, perhaps, from other podcasts?
I think it's the variety, really. You know, there's a lot of really good dental podcasts out there. But it's some of the connections that we've made. As you know, Jennifer and Jeff and I all lecture outside of our practices. Yep. We have, I would like to say, a fairly good image and reputation amongst the sponsors that we've worked with through our educational platforms. And, you know, we meet a lot of dentists and we give them a lot of kudos and a lot of respect, and we look up to them. And so, you know, we get good people on the show, and it's you know, it's fun, and in our aspects it's pretty easy to do. A lot of people want to do it. But when I go to the variety, you know, we have a little banter. I mean, we keep it real because we all do practice 4 days a week. We have ups and downs in our own practices. We talk about that. Then Jennifer dissects what's going on in the industry with the news for that week. And then following that, we bring on an educator, an influencer, or some dental professional that we feel is going to provide value to our listeners.
Would you say that as we, in our lectures, you and I, and Jeff and Jennifer, we lecture, we not only share our successes, but we share our failures?
Absolutely.
And the benefit of that, would you agree, is learning?
Absolutely. I mean, we all learn from our mistakes.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it's funny that you say that. I was asked to be on a podcast recently, and the question is, what was your biggest mistake in dentistry? And the way I opened it up is I said, I make a lot of mistakes. And I had to backtrack, and I said, I don't want to sound like a bumbling idiot, but we all need to realize that we're going to make mistakes. It happens. And, you know, we just need to find the best way that we can to learn from that mistake and better ourselves.
So if you are a young dentist, just getting out of dental school, if you had to pick a path as far as future education, what would you mostly look at today in today's world? And understanding, we all get it, that the dentists coming out today, debt is a huge thing. But when you and I, let's say, of course, I got out much earlier.
Maybe a year or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had mentors.
Yeah.
Good mentors.
Yep.
Is that still available today?
It absolutely is. And, you know, your mentors are going to come along. There's no scientific way of finding a mentor, or a way that a mentor comes into your life, but you just got to find a like-minded professional or somebody that you want to be like. And it's not necessarily a, hey Tony, will you be one of my mentors? It's something that just organically happens, and that's the best way to do it. But you asked a question that I go back to often, and I have a lot of young dental students, pre-dental students, and young dentists that come through my practice just to kind of see how it works in the real world, if you will.
Yep.
And the biggest piece of advice that I could give a young dentist is that I know you just spent a lot on your education. We know that.
Sure.
Granted, it was less when we went through. I don't know how they do it and survive these days. They have a lot on their plate, and they come out with a lot of debt. But you also come out with the ability to make a pretty dang good living,
right.
All right? And so rather than get caught up in the cars and the house and all this
right.
stuff, figure
Yes.
out what you need to live off of, figure out what you need to save. So meet with a financial advisor and figure out what you need to live off of, figure out
right.
what you need to save, and then figure out what you can sock away for education. Because, if it's $10,000 to $12,000 a year, that can provide you with a lot more real world education that you're not necessarily, you get good education in dental school, but you're going to get more real world education after the fact.
Yep. And a couple of things you mentioned is that I teach a business course and try to teach dentists that it's important that from day one you plan financially and define a honest, good financial planner. But not only that, when you are picking a mentor, you can do online courses, you can do that, but pick someone good. Invest in your continuing education,
Absolutely.
continuing growth. Well, this has been a pleasure, my friend, and as a son.
As a dad.
All right, buddy.
Hey, real quick though, we're about to close this out. And you did close. You did a dang good job, Tony. But I want to talk about something because we both mentioned it. We talked about sponsors of education. And, this came up in a conversation that we had yesterday about how these sponsors influence education. Would you just real quick mention what you feel a sponsor is in an educational environment as far as dentistry is concerned?
When you're talking about sponsors, are you talking about
sponsors of your lectures?
Okay.
Why do we have to have sponsors in our lectures?
So the reason we have to have sponsors in our lectures is because education is expensive.
Yeah.
Now, the crux of it is when we have a sponsor, do you truly believe in that sponsor? Do you truly believe in that product? Are you using someone else's product? Because there's a lot of people saying, oh, this is your product, but it's someone else's. Honesty is the key. But the reason we need sponsors is so that the people that have dedicated a portion of their career to educating dentists to provide darn good dentistry, everyday dentistry at its highest level, we need those sponsors to provide that education for these doctors. And as well as anyone, products change daily.
Absolutely.
And when these products come out, we test them and we make sure they're good products. So the sponsors are a serious part of education because they provide the money for us to lecture, quite honestly, and also provide the products that we use in our office every day. We could not, and I say this, education would not exist without manufacturer sponsors.
Absolutely.
Today. There's no question. And it's so important that we maintain these relationships. So I say to dentists all the time, we all get bugged, so to speak, by salespeople, but you need to have a great relationship with salespeople because a lot of times they can bail your butt out of situations. You need them, and they need you. So it's a symbiotic relationship in that, you know what? They're good for us.
Yep.
And again, without the sponsors, we would not have education at the level we have today. Would you agree?
I would totally agree, and I think that's a great comment to close on. But what I want to say is that you nailed it. The sponsors basically, they keep education affordable to us.
They really do.
Everybody has sponsors, but these are products that we use in our practice, products that we believe in, and products that we believe are for the betterment of the profession. So, I think it's very important, and I just want to. I think we'd both always want to say thank you to the people that have supported us in our journey,
Absolutely.
and the educational events that we provide at.
And the other thing is, for the most part, they're good people.
They're really,
really
good people.
good people. All right, brother.
Thanks, man.